Hello, this is Clive Hook from Clearworth, welcoming you to another 5-minute Think Spot. 5 minutes of learning, thinking and reflection. I often say you'll learn more in the next 5 minutes than many people at work will learn this week. So, give yourself a learning break and give your brain something useful to do. Today we're going to look at two forces in play that I've talked about under the subject of leadership styles. This time, we're going to think about coaching and learning. I think you're responsible for your own and others' learning. And if you're not learning, then sooner or later it's terminal. You simply cannot survive and thrive in today's ever-changing landscape without making yourself available for learning and encouraging your people to do the same. So let's look at these two forces in play. Supporting is about nurturing, caring and helping. Challenge is about stretching, extending and going outside the comfort zone. They have two markedly different but related effects. Support builds confidence. You feel safe. But challenge builds competence. You increase your range of skills. The example I like to use is teaching a child to ride a bicycle. You hold the back of the saddle saying things like, "Don't worry, I won't let go." That's support in action. But then, after a time, and this is when children learn you can't be trusted to tell the truth all the time, you let go of the saddle. That's a switch to challenge. You know they'll fall at some point in the future, but you choose to let that happen, knowing that they've got enough skill to get them through the difficult early stages. Enter workplace learning, and now you're the manager or leader, and you have a responsibility for your people's growth and development. What style or approach do you take to the learning? I've mapped the two forces on a matrix again, but this time with the names for the approaches, and the first one's the deserter. That's the low support, low challenge style. Leave them to it, they'll work it out with a bit of luck, or maybe they won't. I can certainly remember chapters in my own working life in the hospitality industry where I worked for people like this. And I certainly felt deserted, cheated and resentful. Luckily I did learn and I survived, but I also learned a thing or two about how not to be as a manager. Thank you, Ian. You'll never know what you taught me. You were too busy to notice anyway. A very different manager I worked for was the high support and low challenge style, the carer. They seemed to want to do everything for me. Not let me get into any tricky situations. They'd step in and deal with it. They'd take over and make sure it went okay. Did I feel grateful? Well, at first I did, but after a time I felt resentful because I looked a bit stupid in front of guests, like I didn't know what to do. Of course I didn't know exactly what to do, but I could work it out pretty quickly and get some learning too. I didn't stay long in that job because I wasn't getting anywhere and I wasn't learning anything except how to step aside when Keith came along. What a different world when I got to work for James, the classic high challenge, low support teaching style, the pusher. Probably the toughest manager I ever worked for. James was a legend in the 5-star hotel world, but not for the reason he thought. Morning meetings were conducted with me and 2 or 3 others standing in front of his desk, being told not to screw up and being reminded of anything that hadn't gone right in the last 24 hours. All of us knew that whatever we did, if there was ever any issue, we'd get it in the neck the next day, or when our phone rang. I certainly learned how to survive. But what it fostered was more about how to cover your tracks if anything did go wrong, rather than using that as an opportunity for learning. Luckily, I got to work with Andrew. Vastly experienced and knowledgeable and well respected in the industry. I learned a lot from him, but even more valuable, he gave me opportunities that I thought were way beyond my ability and allowed me to do new things, take on new challenges and grow as a manager and as a person. There were some nightmare moments and incredibly tricky situations when I thought I was in big trouble, but I knew I had his support and was able to rise to the challenge. I can safely say I would not be where I am today if it weren't for him and the chances he afforded me. Hey, there we are. My life and learning in under 5 minutes. I don't usually make it that personal, but I realised it was the best way to illustrate it. So the big question is, who are you in the teaching, coaching and learning style? I hope, as ever, this has been a useful 5-minute pause in the day to think about you, both as a learner and a leader. This is Clive Hook, up there in the developer box, ready to support and give you all the tools you need to learn, but challenging and daring you to go out and use them. Bye for now.